Good afternoon, Saturday the 18th of April, 4 p.m. movement snack. Is this the one you're after? Are you the one that you want? Are we the one that you want? If so, please stay. Or if you're watching on YouTube and it is the one you want, just slide across, delete this bit if you don't want the preamble. We have a new winner in today. Oh my goodness, Linos, you got in first. How did you do that? First day in and first over the line. Wales is in first. Various other Welsh members. Bob, you've been pushed to third or fourth, I think. Come on everyone, lovely to see you. It don't matter who you are or where you are, come on in, but tell me, because it's interesting. Where are you from? What room are you in now? Lounge, dining room, kitchen, conservatory, spare room, basement, under the stairs, shed, greenhouse. Oh my goodness, thank you Dee, you woke up thinking of us. Come on, lovely. Greece is here, Calgary is here, Wales is here. Maddie's in the kitchen, she's here. Scotland here, Northumberland in. 3-minute warning and then we'll get going. Just to assure you that we will have a big stretch, bit of a weight transfer sway first. You know the score at 4 p.m. You should do by now, because we've done 82 of these snacks, 82 movement snacks. Dublin, hello. I think Chris, you're saying hello to your sister from Dyffryn Rhondda to Swansea. Good afternoon from the conservatory. Thank you, Vivian. It is Maureen. Hello. Hello, George. Maybe 2 minutes to go. We've got some people on ketchup. That's not that famous red sauce. It's when they watch afterwards. Catch up, I think. Thank you for catching up. Where's the bear? Yes. So 1 minute and then we're going to go. Bristol is in. Hardcore snackers. Thanks, hardcore snackers. Lancing's in. Steve from Lancing, hello. Dawn's in her office. We got kitchen, lounge, office, conservatory, loft. Bob, I think you're in the loft, aren't you? Are you in the loft? Yeah, I've been in the garden making videos today, as you saw. More on those in weeks to come. And they really just serve to really further demonstrate how all of these movements that we've been doing just directly apply to everyday function and activities on whatever level. Yes, a bit extreme when I'm tiptoeing through puddles, but you get the gist. These movements are all the same to a lesser or greater degree. The application is just implicit in all of our daily activities. Anyway, we're going to get going. 30 seconds. No, not even that. 3, 2, 1 seconds. Good afternoon. My name's Bex Townley. Thanks for joining us on the end of week 4 movement snack number 82, and it's the 4 p.m. movement snack. If you're familiar, you know what's coming. Perhaps you're joining us for the first time today. So just very briefly, this 4 p.m. movement snack takes a slightly different focus to the noon and the 8 a.m. So you're going to get a big stretch, a full body stretch, key stretches, key muscle groups that we use in daily life. But before that, a little bit of three-dimensional movements, some arms, some coordinated arm, trunk and head movements that we've been building up. But first, as always, circulation boost. So the circulation boost can be done in sit or stand. Pick your position, and don't forget you can switch between either of these. Look at the movement and decide. If your balance is going to be too challenged, if it's something new, take it seated. And as always, have a firm, steady external support for your standing work if you need. So whether you're in sit or stand, adopt your upright, lifted position, support if you need, and let's just start the circulation booster. Once you've started that movement, then we can start to think about it a little bit more and pick through the specifics to optimize this movement. So lift and open, so the posture's more upright, chest is more open, and we're thinking more about articulating ankles, feet and toes. Be more deliberate with that placement and exaggerate the action of the feet, ankles and toes. Knees are even. This rhythmical movement is going to boost the circulation. We're going to get just a little increase in heart rate and respiratory rate. Nothing mad, nothing crazy. Keep going in stand. In seated, hip walk forward. Here's that key mobility action. And from the sit position, we can either start from the top down or the bottom up. One arm or two arms, focusing on really specific lifted posture with this rhythmical, this symmetrical action here. So we want even swings from the arms, and for whatever reason you may want to bring the arms together to help with that coordination, or perhaps help support the arm, or help get a little bit more range going back. And then when you think you can, on the subject of coordination, a little bit of both, if that's appropriate for you. Continue with that, or you may just want to go legs or just arms, whatever is right. And take a pause. So that's our circulation boost, serves to do just that. Boost the circulation and just get us a little bit more mindful about how we're stood or how we're sat. Next section, for a minute or so, we're going to look at a little bit of weight transfer, slow and controlled, all on lifted open postures with support if we need, in sit or stand. Have a look at it and then decide which options you want. A couple of arm options, let's just bring two in the mix today, plus the one we started to rehearse yesterday. So, the first level arm action is an alternating float arm up and down with support if you need, one up, one down. I'll come here so you can see. And we're looking to bring in the wrists as well and just feel, not just focus on the arms, but the whole of your upright posture, that your weight is balanced across your feet, your knees a little bit soft, you're active here. So we talk about this lengthen from here. That's going to give a little bit more activity through the tummy muscles. And in seated it's the same. Lifted really high on the sit bones, and we've talked a lot about this lifted position here. Here's the one in seated. Keep everything low, low and slow here, low and slow. Here's one more option on an arm that we've done before. This was the circular move, so a little bit more complex. And now we can start to, if we adjust the feet one slightly forward, we can start to bring in a little bit of that weight transfer across the buttocks in sit. All on lifted, feet are flat, buttocks are really anchored to the chair. And in stand, the same, adopt that position, take up support until you're familiar with the movement. We've got a little bit of sway, a little bit of arm, or using the support so you can alternate, perhaps like so, culminating in this. Slow, 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 slow. Chest is open, we're swaying within our base of support, so make sure that your feet aren't too close together. Have a glance down, and our knees should be going in the direction of our toes. Okay, take a pause. One more little refresh of this new arm sequence that we started yesterday. Have a look, pick it up when you see it. We'll just do a minute on this and then we'll move on to the stretch. I'll build it up from the very beginning. In sit or stand, if this is new, take it up seated first. It will challenge your balance, so do take up some support, or we could rest on a firm support, giving you freedom to use both arms. I'm going to come here so you can see. Keep the head centre. Here's the first bit. Hand comes up, moves away, and then comes down. Can you see? Here's the other arm. So as if your hand is a mirror, and it comes out and down. That's the first level, but that's not really combining all of the elements of the movement that we're after. So the next thing we're going to do is turn the head to follow the hand, look back to the centre, and the hand carries on. I look at the hand, watch it, look to me, the hand carries on. So this is about knowing where your hand is in space without looking at it. Okay, so you'll see it maybe out of the corner of your eye. But this still isn't what we really want from the whole movement. What we really want is for both arms to be moving at the same time, always, with the head movement. So we end up with this. When I look to the centre, my hand is almost there. And you should feel that at any point in time, both arms are moving. Both arms are moving. It's a very challenging one. So take up some support, or just rehearse on one hand. Rehearse on one hand and alternate the hands, or rest or sit down. How does that feel? So these movements kind of replicate the requirements of head movements, arm movements. What we can then bring into this is a little bit of trunk sway. So we have this movement with the hands, with the head. And the challenge is a bit like juggling, to keep all the balls in the air and catch them all at the right time. Let's draw a line under that. You can keep practicing that. Let's go into our big stretch, starting with the chest stretch, I think, today, because we've just done quite a lot of shoulders. So lift and open, sit or stand. If you're in stand, wider base of support here for balance. If you're in sit, really anchor the buttocks, lift out of here, and just start by lifting and opening the chest to here. If you feel you can ease the hands all the way around, there you can kind of fix and get an extra squeeze through the shoulders. Now holding this, it should be comfortable, you should still be able to breathe. If you feel that you can't stay there as long as you would like, you just come straight back out. Don't force it, just move slowly in and out of these. So looking for a little bit of hold, building up, 12 seconds. Maintain the breath while you're there, but just come out and release each time. Now, if you can't get your hands all the way around there, if that's could be for lots of reasons, you can keep your hands in front and just work from the sternum. So just press the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades back, and use that position instead. And relax. Back of arm and down the side of the trunk here, really important one that contributes to our mobility. All of this flexibility directly relates to how mobile we are, how our mobility is. Head is still then, sit or stand. Let's just ease the elbow up. You can walk it over the back like so here, or you can give it some support. When it comes to its natural, what I call sticking point, that's the stretch position. And we just hold it in that position, just so we can keep supporting the arm. That could benefit, or if you're comfortable, we can just hold it in this position here. Notice that head and neck remain straight. From here, we can continue to support the elbow here and ease it up into a little bit more of a stretch here. If you can get an extra stretch down the side, but for that part of the stretch, we just want a couple of seconds and then we come out again. In stand, this could be leaning side on, so we've got lots of supports here if you want to, or here, taking the arm position again, or in seated, come to the natural sticking point, hold it here. We're trying to stretch the back of the arm here, but obviously into the shoulder as well. And at the point that I go for a little bit more reach and lift, that's when I'm going to get some extra stretch down the side of the trunk. But if shoulder's not happy with that, we can either take a stretch to the front, or we could either bring the arms up to the front here and just lift, 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 lift. Just have a feel with those. Just don't push anything, just ease into the positions. Feel the stretch, literally the muscles lengthening. A little hold, building it up over time, and then relax. Let's come into our back and thigh stretch. Everyone's seated for this one, unless you know and are comfortable with the standing option. The standing option is a little bit more complex. So for the purposes of the movement snack, I'd like to keep this one seated, please. So we're forward, we're going to take the leg out. The foot is fairly relaxed, or it might be more comfortable flat on the floor, depends on your ankle mobility. And the knees a little bit soft. Now, if you already have this feeling of tension at the back here, you have the stretch. Stay there. That's enough. And we're looking to hold that 8, 12, maybe 20 seconds. If it starts to become uncomfortable, or the muscle starts to shake or tremble, we just come out of the stretch slowly, have a release, have a pit stop, and go in again. So let's take the other one. Pick the best position for you. We're trying to get as much length in that leg, but just unlock the knee a little bit. And we've talked about this. I'm going to come here so you can see. Rather than sinking into the lower back here, we've talked about tilting and lifting and lengthening between the top of the hip and the rib. So we should be really tall and active here. And then if you need to, and if you want to, as we hinge forward, can you see my back is still straight? I can support here. And as I ease forwards, I'll increase that stretch. Now, just feel your way around that. Just tilting the pelvis, or the sensation that you might be hollowing the back a little bit. Just take the lock off the knee, have a play with the foot position, have a wiggle around, and it will take a while to find it, but when you do, it should feel quite satisfying. And this stretch directly relates with all of the activities that we need to do down here. You could even have a little creep down with your fingertips, see how far you can get. Gives you a measure of progress over time, and come out of that stretch slowly. Have a little release in between, release the posture muscles. Which brings us to calf stretch. We've talked about this many times. In seated option is the long leg position again, and the toe comes towards us. Toe comes towards us, and the heel goes forward, so you have a heel forward and a toe back, and that's the hold there. And we should feel some tension, some stretch on the back of the lower leg. Release the toe. You may also start to feel some effort on the front of the shin. That's the muscle that's pulling the toe back, so that muscle might get tired, which is why you might need to relax and go in again. If you're steady and confident in stand, and I would argue, say we can get a more effective stretch in stand, take up loads of external support, lots and lots and lots. I don't want your balance challenged. And then we can take a squeeze back here, press that heel down. And can you see when we talk about circulation boosting, when I talk about really getting the ankles and the toes working, directly relates into the success and progress of this stretch also. So once that heel is down, I'm going to feel probably, if I press forward there, some stretch down the front of my leg, my hip here. So I get a bog off, a buy one get one free. I get this and this. And if you want to, you can crowbar in another upward side just for a few seconds, and you can see at that point there, the whole of this side of the body is on stretch. Same on the other side. Take your time. Back step, heel down, lift up, there's the extra, there's the calf. And if you want to, we can squeeze up and squeeze out again, all with support. Okay, feel free to go round again then. Feel free to have another rehearse at waving your hands, like me, and see how that goes. That, everyone, is another 30 minutes of movement in the benefits bag. Remember, all of this is to accumulate more minutes over and above everything else that you're doing, and all of the gains that you're making across these 3 sessions are hopefully designed to enhance and improve and complement and supplement anything else that you're doing. Which means I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, 8 AM in the morning for some mobility. Thank you very much. Keep on moving. Every movement counts.